Hello everyone, this is course instructor Gökçen Obruk Maths and I'm going to explain chapter 1 lecture PowerPoint slides in this video. So chapter 1 is about understanding the basic principles of economics and understanding what economics is about. So we will briefly talk about economic perspective, theories, principles and models. We talk about the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Then we talk about individuals' economizing problem, society's economizing problem. We talk about production possibilities model, and then we explain unemployment growth and the future using production possibilities model. Let's start with the first concept, which is economics. So economics is about decision making, but decision making when the resources are scarce. So the main point we study economics is because our resources are scarce. Just let's think about yourself. You do not have unlimited time. You do not have unlimited income. And that's true for the society too. Societies or countries doesn't have unlimited resources, doesn't have unlimited income. So therefore, we need to make decisions based on limited resources we have. So economic ones exceed society's productive capacity. Therefore, for that reason, desires are unlimited, but resources are limited. We need to make decisions. That's what economics is about. So when we say the economic perspective, we need to understand a couple terms. First of all, scarcity. So we have scarcity, that means limited resources. So we need to make choice. When we make a choice, we have an opportunity cost. So this is an important term and I want you to understand. What is an opportunity cost? Okay, opportunity cost, everything that you need to give up to make the decision. For instance, you want to sleep, but you have an exam tomorrow. So what you are giving up in this example while you're sleeping is maybe a good grade from the exam. So opportunity cost can be monetary or non-monetary. Again, I'm repeating, what you give up is your opportunity cost. For instance, paying a $300 to a bike, then your opportunity cost is monetary $300. But if you just think about monetary cost, you may miss the real opportunity cost for some other decisions. For instance, you attend college, right? Attending college, you may think that opportunity cost is I need to pay tuition, so it's an opportunity cost. I need to pay for books and fees, it's an opportunity cost. But also there is a non-monetary cost, which is your time. When you spend your time studying for the exam, studying for the classes, you're actually losing the opportunity to earn wage. So the foregone wage is an opportunity cost. So when I ask you what is the opportunity cost of attending a college, you should say, okay, the tuition, books, fees, plus the time or foregone wage. Okay. So the third point that you need to understand when you understand the economic perspective is the purposeful behavior to increase utility. So when we make decision, we compare the benefits and costs and we try to increase the satisfaction. So utility is a numerical value we receive from a satisfaction. For instance, you drink 1 glass of water, you're very thirsty. If you say, I get satisfaction 10 out of 10, then we're talking about a utility. From the second glass, maybe you get 7 out of 10. As you see, a numerical value attached to the benefit of drinking water is the utility. And when we make decision, we are actually making marginal analysis by comparing the marginal benefits and marginal costs, which I will explain next. So scarcity and choice, resources are scarce, choices must be made. There is an opportunity cost for every decision and there is no free lunch. So that means even if something is provided to you free, it's not free. For instance, Facebook, you say posting in a Facebook is free, it's not. Why? Because it's financed by the commercials, advertisements on Facebook. And when you are on Facebook, you are losing your time, right? Time has a value. Don't forget, there's no free lunch. Purposeful behavior. First of all, economics assume that people are rational, self-interest. That means they are doing best for themselves. And when they make decision, individuals make decision, they compare the utility. As I said, utility is the satisfaction you receive from consuming a good, and the cost. When firms make a decision, they check their profit and the cost, and they want to achieve the desired outcome. That's the purposeful behavior. Marginal analysis is important. Let me explain that. When we make a decision, we actually compare the marginal benefit and marginal cost, not the total benefit and total cost. So what is marginal? Marginal means extra or additional benefit or cost. So let me explain this with an example. In this example, let's assume that you are the CEO of an airline company and you want to fly a plane from A to B. So you know that the total cost, profit, everything is going to cost you to fly a plane 200K from A to B. So given this, you decided to have the plane ticket that has 500 passengers, $400 each. So you have actually 497 seats sold, but in the last moment, a passenger asks for a ticket to purchase $300. So the question is, are you going to sell this ticket? So we have 3 empty spaces, remember? Okay. So when we make decision, we're not going to look at the total cost that we spend or the total benefit that we get, but instead I'm going to say, okay, what is my additional benefit if I sell this ticket, which is marginal benefit, the $300 extra I will get. And then I'm going to ask, what is the cost of flying this additional passenger, not the total passengers, additional passengers? Yeah, this passenger either buys a ticket or not, I'm going to fly the plane. So I shouldn't look at this cost, but I should look at how much it's going to cost me to serve this additional passenger. In this case, maybe a can of soda and a pretzel, let's say $1. So this is the marginal cost. So for that reason, it seems like I should sell this ticket to this passenger because the benefit that I receive from this extra passenger exceeds the cost that I have to bear because of selling this ticket. So for that reason, in this case, okay, I'm going to sell the ticket. Why we didn't compare 200K total cost? This is because we know that the plane is going to fly regardless of this passenger or not. So when we make decision, we compare the marginal benefits and marginal cost, and that is called extra or additional. And economics uses theories, principles, and models. What is a scientific method? Probably you know from your other classes too. The scientific method is the procedure for the systematic pursuit of knowledge involving the observation of facts and the formulation of testing hypotheses to obtain theories, principles, and laws. It consists of several elements. First of all, you observe the real life and then you come up with a hypothesis, and then you need to test the hypothesis. After testing it, you may accept, reject, or modify the hypothesis and continue to test the hypothesis if necessary. And now let's talk about one important economic principle, which is other things equal assumption. So what is other things equal assumption? Because you're going to see that ceteris paribus assumption in the following chapters. It's the assumption that factors other than those being considered did not change. So for example, if you want to understand how consumer behavior changes, buying decision changes, depend on the price, you will assume that the only thing that changes in the market is the price itself. So that means, okay, when we go to a grocery store, first thing we check for the price, right? If you see a discount on your favorite cereal, probably you buy more than one. That means as the price goes down, you buy more, which we call it quantity demanded. But when we make this assumption, we assume that nothing other than price is changing. But there are other things that are affecting your buying decision. Let's say you get a promotion the next day, or you watch a commercial says that cereal is healthy for your health. So we're assuming none of these things are changing. We're just focusing on price and the amount that consumers want to buy. So that is the ceteris paribus assumption. And we also use generalizations. So when we say when the price is lower, people buy more, we're talking about an average customer, average buyer. Okay, there might be people that act differently. And we use graphical expressions for explaining theories, tests, and models. And the next topic is the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of the individual consumer, firm, or market. So if we are studying the individual decision, why they buy this product, why they don't buy the other product, or how they make a decision how much to buy, it's micro. Or for firms, they may make a decision about how much to produce to maximize their profit, or how many labor to hire, workers hire to maximize their profit, it's micro. And we may talk about a beef market, milk market, individual, as you see, individual products market, it's micro. Macroeconomics is the study of the entire economy or a major aggregate of the economy. So instead of beef prices, we talk about the general average prices in the economy, which is an aggregate, then it is macro. Like inflation is a macro term, is an increase in average prices. Or instead of how many workers a firm fires or hires, we talk about the number of unemployed people in the economy, then it's called macro. And the next topic that we need to understand is the difference between positive and normative economics. Positive economics are the economic statements that are factual based on the data. So if you're saying France has a higher unemployment rate than US, which is a factual, right? It's in the data. Then you're talking about positive economics. But if you are talking about an economic statement that involves a value judgment, then it's normative economics. Like for instance, France should help unemployed people. It involves your value judgment. Therefore, it's normative economics. So next we will talk about an economizing problem, but this time we will focus on individual. Okay. So remember, you as a person have a limited income and you have unlimited ones. Okay? So we need to talk about a budget line. Budget line shows how much you can buy different combinations of goods given the income you have. But budget line is the line that represents you spend all your income. For this model, we are going to use only 2 goods. I know you buy lots of goods during the months in real life, but in order to understand the concept, we will use only 2 goods. And I will show you attainable and unattainable combinations and talk about trade-off and opportunity cost on the budget line. So budget line represents choices, and as income changes, your budget line can shift as well. So let's look at this example, and let's assume you have 2 goods that you consume in a day or in a week or month, t-shirts and books. So this represents a combination of 2 goods, and the budget line, as you see, shows all possible combinations of t-shirts and books that your income can buy when you use all your income. So this is when you spend all your income, the line. Anything inside the triangle, as you see here, is attainable, but you are not using all your income. For instance, this point, you buy 2 t-shirts and 2 books, and we know that t-shirts are $20. 20 times 2, you spend $40 for a t-shirt, and you buy 2 books, 2 times 10, $20. So you spend total $60. And you spend $60 to buy this combination 2, but your income is $120. As you see inside the triangle, everything is attainable, but you're not spending all your income. However, on the budget constraint, you spend all your income. For instance, here, let's assume you're at this point. 4 t-shirts, 4 times 20, you spend $80. And here, 4 books, 4 times 10, $40 for a total of $120, which is your income. So anything on the budget line, you spend all your income. Anything outside the budget line is unattainable. And here, as you see, we can observe the trade-off. Why? Because you can spend all your income to buy t-shirts, like you can buy 6 t-shirts. How do I know? 120 divided by 6, $20 a t-shirt, right? So for that reason, 6 times 20, 120, we spend all our income. But actually, in order to get books, you need to give up t-shirts. Okay, for instance, if you want to get 4 more books, you need to give up 2 shirts. Why? Because you have a limited income. And that is the opportunity cost. Giving up shirts is the opportunity cost of getting more books. So what is the opportunity cost? It's actually the slope of the line. So how do we find the slope of the line? If you remember from college algebra or high school math, it's the rise, which is rise here, is 6, over run, which is 12. So it's 6 over 12. It's negative because it's downward sloping, negative, or 1 over 2. So that means every 2 books, to get additional 2 books, you need to give up 1 t-shirt. That's the opportunity cost. And let's look at the global perspective, average income per person for selected nations. Average income per capita and therefore typical individual budget constraints changes from one country to another, even after adjusting for international differences in the cost of living. For instance, as you see here, United States average income seems like 65,280, and Switzerland it's higher, or Norway it's higher, but there are some countries that have average income, this is annual income, less than $500. Now, let's look at the society's economizing problem. We have, first of all, we need to talk about the resources the society has. And the resources the society has, the first one is land. Land includes all natural resources, sun energy, wind energy, whatever the nature provides for us. Labor, physical actions, and mental activities that people contribute to production. Capital, all human produced physical objects and intangible ideas used in production, like machines, like factory, all are capital. Entrepreneurial ability is different than labor because it's a special human resource and it represents the innovativeness, risk-taking, creation of new businesses instead of just making production. So these are called factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial ability. And entrepreneurs actually employ the other factors of production, land, labor, and capital. They take the initiative, make strategic business decisions, they innovate and take risk. That's why they are different than labor. Next, we talk about production possibilities model. This is the society's economizing model. So this is the economic model that shows different combinations of two goods that an economy can produce. Again, economy can produce many goods, but to simplify and understand the real life, we are going to use two goods. We have some assumptions. First of all, we fully employed all our resources. Our resources do not grow, they are fixed. Technology doesn't advance, it's fixed. And the two goods are one for consumer goods, one for capital goods. So here, the production possibility frontier, industrial robots represent capital goods, pizzas represent the consumer goods. So as we move resources, let's say this point A represents, we use all our resources, all factors of production. In this case, just let's assume we have only one factors of production, labor. To produce industrial robots, we get 10 robots. But if you move from A to E, as you realize, we are moving resources to produce consumer goods, which in this case, pizzas. Again, we have the opportunity cost. Why? Because as you move from A to B, you need to give up from robots to get additional pizza. The same, from B to C, you need to give up robots to get an additional pizza. And any point outside of production possibility curve is unattainable. Inside is attainable, but you're not using all the resources you have. Anything on the production possibility frontier, you use all your resources. And here another important point is that there is again opportunity cost. The slope represents the opportunity cost, but opportunity cost, since it's not a straight line, changes from one point to another. So here the slope of line at C is different than D than E. So the reason is very simple. Let's try to explain it in a real life scenario. So when you move the resources from industrial robots, the first time you're moving is you're actually moving less efficient resources. They are not good at making robot, but they could be used in pizza production. So the return on pizza is huge. When you move more resources from robot production, you're trying to move the most efficient ones that are the most experienced ones to the pizza production. Therefore, let's say from here, for instance, from here, point D, you want to increase the pizza production by only 1 unit, you need to give up 4 robots. You see, the most effective producers are actually going to produce pizza and they can only increase the pizza by 1 unit. So for that reason, the opportunity cost changes on the production possibilities frontier. That's why it's bold shape. It's not a straight line. So law of increasing opportunity cost, as more of a particular good is produced, its marginal opportunity cost increases. And for that reason, production possibilities curve is a concave shape. And the reason is because of the economic rationale that I explained. And now the next thing we need to talk about when we make a decision, as we said, we are comparing the marginal benefit and marginal cost. So this can be represented in a graph. So let's see, for instance, point A. Point A represents that you are producing 100K pizzas, right? 100K pizzas brings a marginal benefit of 15, but the cost is at B because you're going up here like that, B, and 5. So marginal benefit, marginal cost. As you see, each additional, if you increase the production of pizzas, additional pizzas still giving a more benefit than it costs to you. So for that reason, why not to increase? Because you are gaining a net benefit, okay? So you're going to increase the production of the pizza until you reach a point here, 200K. At 200K, marginal benefit, as you see, is here E, which is marginal benefit is 10, marginal cost is 10. So they are equal. That could be the decision-making point, because as you continue to produce after 200K, you realize that the marginal benefit is actually going down and is less than after 200K. The marginal benefit of producing an additional pizza is less than marginal cost. So you should stop producing, go back this direction. So if you are here 100K, go this direction, continue producing. If you're here, reduce your production. Why? Because you're gaining a point D, which is 5 marginal benefit. Cost C 15. You're losing money every time you produce a pizza. So what is the optimal? It's the optimal point is when marginal benefit equals marginal cost. So the next thing we will talk about is unemployment growth and the future growth using the production possibility frontier. When we talk about production possibility frontier, we say that our resources are fixed and there is no technological advancement. Let's assume our resources are growing. When the economies are growing, labor is increasing, technology is advancing. And as labor grows and technology advances, your production possibility frontier shifts outward. And once we have more resources, as you see here, unemployment decreases. Why? Because you're employing more resources, and this represents an economic growth and the future of a country. And the final thing I'm going to talk today is international trade. International trade is based on specialization and increased production possibilities. So what does that mean? That means, for instance, just think about yourself. You're not producing everything you need, all the goods and services you need a day. You go to college to specialize in one thing. Let's say you want to be financial advisor, right? And you want to earn income being a financial advisor, and then trade everything you need by purchasing them from the market, right? This is a simple explanation of trade. By specializing, you become an experienced financial advisor, so your potential to earn income increases. Therefore, by trading other goods, instead of spending all your time to produce coffee, to cook meal, to fix your clothes, to write your textbook, you trade in the market to buy these things, but you focus on one thing. That's the specialization idea in trade. And that is actually by specializing, countries are specializing in producing goods that are best at, they are increasing their production possibilities. And that's it for this chapter. I hope this is going to help you to understand your textbook. Thank you for watching this video.